Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be taking out this 2 3/4 or almost 3-inch short ram intake on the Civic Si 99, and we're going to try to replace it with the new whale penis carbon fiber intake from Password Jdm. We're gonna see the VTEC crossover sound difference before we install it. Some of you already know how the short ram intake sounds like on the car, the way it is now with the 2 3/4 or almost 3-inch short ram intake HPS. And we're gonna try and install the carbon fiber whale penis intake. See if it makes a big sound difference or not. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so this comes with the filter, obviously Password Jdm intake air filter. Open it up a little bit, see what it looks like. Very cool filter. Looks like it comes a little bit of oiled up already, so you could just straight up install it. This is what it looks like. Not too shabby. A little bit dirty over here, but we'll clean it up a little bit. Probably from the oil. The air filters have to get oiled up or cleaned up or whatever before install. So. And it comes obviously with some hardware for the intake tubing and the valve cover to the intake. Obviously it comes with that. We'll hold on, we'll put that right there for now. It comes with obviously with the coupler, and obviously for the intake air sensor comes with that as well. And I would suppose clamps. 3 clamps actually. 3, so there's 2 clamps here, then 3 clamps. So that's 3 clamps. It comes with 3 clamps. Not so bad. And a Password Jdm sticker, which is pretty cool. Alright. Let's get this open. Alright, so here's what it looks like under the sun. Put this down for a second so you can catch a glimpse of what it looks like. Many of you already know what the carbon fiber intake looks like, or the whale penis intake looks like. This is what it looks like. There it comes. Obviously, there's a little, line from when they had to close it, obviously, right? Intake sensor, the air sensor, so it can be plugged in, just like this one's plugged in a little bit. So it's not so bad. That's what it looks like. Real carbon fiber. Pretty cool. Let's check the inside a little bit. Thing's gonna scream when VTEC kicks in. I don't know if you can see it, but alright, so let's get this thing assembled and installed. And get this prepared and ready to be installed. Pretty much. We're gonna go ahead and install this damn thing. Or get it ready at least, anyways. Alright. Password Jdm intake coming right up. Just grab a flathead, and yeah, just pretty much a flathead, to be honest. Plug the couplers are good. Couplers are 3-ply. 3-ply couplers, so the couplers aren't so bad. Usually 4-ply is good enough, but 3-ply is good too. Very good. It's just an intake. It's not a turbo. Not a turbo car, so that's not bad. We can go grab a flat. Just simply gonna mount this together, so flathead should do, just to get it installed and ready. At least I thought this would at least come with like a velocity stack. I guess not. Interesting. All right. Guess these don't come with velocity stacks. Only the old ones came with velocity stacks. Alright. Pretty much get this installed. Take this out for a second. Alright. There we go. Got that installed, at least a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and put the great. Shouldn't have took that out. Tighten it. It's not super tight. Now we just squeeze a little bit in. As much as we can. Well, penis. Password Jdm. Well, penis. Simply tighten it up. Not too tight. We don't want to break the intake. So give it a nice tightness, then we'll be good to go. That should be super tight. Waste. Alright. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like. Beautiful intake. Whale penis. I might give it a nice clear coat spray on this so this doesn't fade. So it's kind of like dry, but it's not really dry. It has like a semi-light clear coat. But I might give it an extra clear coat job on this, so it doesn't, the carbon fiber doesn't fade as much or decay. Not a bad looking intake. Alright. Maybe clean the inside as well. There's no debris. Alright, so let's get started uninstalling the intake that's on there now. So we finally got it out. Short ram intake is finally out. We're installing a new carbon fiber, whale penis carbon fiber intake. Just so you can see the size difference. I don't know if you can see the pretty big size difference. As far as the eye can see. Let's check it out. Alright. Let's see the difference. Both intakes are great intakes. I like this intake, it's not bad at all. I'm curious to see what the carbon fiber intake, whale penis intake sounds like. So, that's gonna be awesome. So let's get that installed. Indeed. Password Jdm. That's cool. Cool label. The label is cool. Let's see. Bigger one. Right here. A smaller one. Installed. How's this one fit? Let's see. So let's get this installed. Alright, let's get this thing started up. At least rev it up. See what it sounds like. So, as you can see, first startup, let's see how it sounds. No check engine lights, nothing. I'll let it warm up a little bit. Does have a little play. It might hit a little bit on the strut power bar, but I must have put like some tape there so it doesn't scratch the intake. I already put like a rag here so it doesn't scratch the AC lines on the filter. But yeah, let's see what it sounds like. And we're going to do some VTEC pulls to see how the interior sounds like with the VTEC pull on it. So I ended up just installing the 2 3/4 inch intake HPS short ram intake back on because VTEC doesn't crack as loud as it should with the power chamber carbon fiber whale penis intake. So I'm pretty much just gonna post it up for sale. If anybody wants to buy it, they could buy it if they want. So obviously this intake for sound noise is obviously better. It sounds much louder because it's just a much more compact, smaller pipe as to compared to the power chamber whale penis carbon intake, which has way more bigger pipe. So that's a lot of air that's going through, so it doesn't really produce that much of a big sound for the VTEC crossover. So the best thing for you to do if you ever do like the loud VTEC crossovers The best intakes is usually the 2.5 inch up to 3 inch intake diameter inches. Those are the best intakes. Regular intakes, nothing like the Password Jdm carbon fiber whale penis intake, big power chamber, because it doesn't produce that much of a sound, because it's not compact. It's not, compact, simple as to Password Jdm carbon fiber intake, whale penis intake. So I ended up just putting the HPS short ram intake back on. Later down the line, I'm going to install the cold air that the car had before, which also produced a very great VTEC crossover sound, which was the AEM cold air intake with the velocity stack or an optional Spec-D air filter on it. Both sounds good, so I might just end up doing the cold air intake. The 3-inch, it's actually bigger. It's a 3-inch cold air intake. The AEM one that I had on this car before, it's actually a much bigger size piping by a 1/4 inch. So this one's like 2 3/4 or just below 2 3/4 inch piping, as to compared to the AEM cold air. Obviously, the AEM 3-inch cold air sounds way louder for VTEC crossovers. So that's actually a really good intake if you guys like loud VTEC crossovers. So yeah, the power chamber whale penis carbon fiber intake isn't for loud VTEC crossovers. So unless the filter is very restrictive, then that's probably why. Maybe it's the filter that makes it so quiet for the VTEC crossover. Maybe I have to change the filter to a K&N so it produces more air, dry air, for it to flow through better. That could probably be why it's not that much of a loud VTEC crossover. So, but I'm not gonna buy another intake air filter just for this, intake pipe. So I'm just gonna stick with the one I have, and the AEM cold air intake for the VTEC crossover sounds. But this might produce a little bit better horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. These actually produce good horsepower because of the way it's designed. So if I'm not mistaken, it's 6.4 wheel horsepower from stock factory airbox with this installed. So these are actually good to make wheel horsepower, to make more power than your regular 2.5 inch intakes or 2 3/4. But as far as for the 3-inch cold air intake, I don't know about all of that, because the 3-inch cold air intake is actually really good too to make power. So as far as short ram, these are actually pretty good for horsepower. So if you're looking for horsepower and you don't really care about VTEC crossovers or sound, then this would be the best option for a short ram intake, in my opinion. But I think it's because of the air filters kind of like restrictive, I guess, and why it would lower the VTEC crossover engagement sounds. So I'm just not gonna take the time to buy another filter like a K&N or something. So that's probably my speculation on why the VTEC is not cracking as loud as it should compared to a cold air intake, or like I said, the HPS short ram intake. So I ended up just installing that back on. But yeah, that's my review on the power chamber whale penis intake. Until then, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment.